So I had a really fun show set up, ready to go, but as I was coming on the air, I got kicked in the balls when I found out that one of my idols has passed away. So I'm not taking it very well right now. The amazing Randi has passed. Now, you might not be familiar with his name, but if you've ever watched Penn and Teller's Bullshit, or if you know about the dude who used to claim to bend spoons with his mind, the amazing Randi was the man that helped Johnny Carson prove he was a fraud. So, renowned skeptic, scientist, magician. He started off as a magician. He had a profound impact on my life and my career. I mean, come on, I do a show where I call people on their bullshit. So I'm very upset about James Randi passing. I'm going to start off the show by playing the trailer for An Honest Liar. That is, I believe it's a Netflix documentary, or it at least was on Netflix at one point in time. It'll give you a good summation of his life and career. And then at the end of the show, we're going to play some clips. We're going to play him breaking down his appearance on Barbara Walters. I've got that clip lined up and a couple others, and yeah, tribute to a great man and a great mind.
If this would be used, I would abandon the film entirely.
Gentlemen, I'm the amazing Randi.
The amazing Randi.
The amazing Randi.
Ta-da!
A conjurer, a prestidigitator, liar, cheat, and fake.
The life of Harry Houdini reads very similar to the life of James Randi.
If you're going to get your head cut off, you go to the best guy. Amazing Randi was the best guy.
Randi, you've been going around the country trying to debunk those who say that it's psychic power.
I can't think of that technical term. Oh, yes, bullshit.
What I do is bending or breaking objects.
Uri Geller fooled the pants off them. It was astonishing.
Bend. Look.
Can you do the spoon bending trick?
Does Dolly Parton sleep on her back?
Do you know how many times Randi tried to ruin my career?
You've been taking a lot of medication.
Peter Popoff is a very dangerous man.
In the name of Jesus!
Popoff just seemed to be able to hear the voice of God and know all about people.
John 3784.
We wondered how he got the information.
I dressed as a security guard.
I appeared in disguise.
You!
Randi is trying to say, this is a big hoax.
Duh. I'll take you.
That man that puts the fear of God into all those psychics. The amazing Randi!
The easiest way to be bigger than yourself is to lie.
I was terrified.
A man who's devoted his whole life to uncover real deception has at the center of his life a deception.
Only one of these people is sworn to tell the truth.
What a situation. No matter how smart or well-educated you are, you can be deceived.
So I highly recommend that movie. We're going to watch some clips of him here in a little while.
Did for Barbara Walters on TV. Now what you'll see here first is a very bad quality outtake from a video copy of this program done way back when Barbara Walters had a morning program called Not for Women Only. The two magicians you'll see on the set with me are Mark Wilson.
I'd never even heard of that show.
Alakazam, and the late Doug Henning, who is currently on Broadway at that time with his very successful live stage show. Barbara's producer, whose name I've mercifully forgotten long ago, didn't care much for me and threw every obstacle into my path as I tried to work my tricks. Somehow I persevered, and rather surprised both Mark and Doug, who were in stitches laughing when I told them later how I'd done my sneaky stuff. They'd missed it, though they were right in close. Now Geller had bent Barbara's key, a key about like this. She describes it as being done with psychic powers, this trick, and she was obviously very impressed with it. Let's look at the first part of this video and see just what this old codger, somewhere around 33 years ago, was up to.
A year ago, we did on this program a week on psychic phenomenon. We did it very seriously. One of our
we did it very seriously.
Who is a young Israeli and has been tested by the Stanford Institute and by other scientists and is said to have psychic powers. We had the former astronaut Edgar Mitchell on with us, who believes in very much in Uri Geller. And Randi, you've been going around the country somewhat as Houdini used to in the past, trying to debunk those who say that it's psychic power. You say it's magic. Right.
Well, Barbara, you see, in what you said just now is something rather revealing to me, because you say that he's been tested by the scientists at the Stanford Research Institute. First of all, Stanford Research Institute is not connected in any way with Stanford University, though it happens to be on the grounds. It takes its name from its locality. And the Stanford Research Institute, as an institute, did not test Uri Geller. Two scientists there whose specialty is lasers, nothing to do with psychology, nothing to do with conjuring, certainly, whose specialty is lasers, went through some private tests with Uri Geller under anything but test conditions. And since then, the psychology department down there, and I've read this in one of the psychological journals, has tested him, gave him 100 envelopes that he was supposed to guess the contents of, and he failed each and every one of the 100.
Let me show some things he did with me.
Each and every one of them, he should have at least got, like, by chance, a few.
No kidding. This is my house key. Uri Geller took it. Let's take this other one. It's a matching key. He went like this with it, with his finger. That's all. No pressure. And the key bent. You can see that. And I've carried it around because
it's a parlor trick.
I'm a believer now. Here also, people in the audience said that their keys bent. Well, I can't prove that, but I can prove that mine did. Here is my identical key. Touch it and make it bend.
Now, do we have another piece of metal? I need another piece of metal.
He didn't use metal, he just used his finger.
No, that's very true. That's very true. But I want to show you a comparison.
Okay, give me another key.
Now, this is the bent one. Now, which camera is taking this? Can we get a close-up here now? All right, now,
that's the original
okay, you can see the bent one here. There is a definite bend in here. Is that right? Okay, now watch. Watch it very carefully. I am going to see if I can, this is a different one from this one. This one's a duplicate, am I correct?
Right.
This one has a stamp on it saying 207 West something. This doesn't have a stamp on it. You see the little stamp on it there?
Yeah.
Would you hold the end of it very lightly in between your fingers, Barbara? And I'm just going to stroke it. Now, I'm not putting enough pressure on it to bend it.
No.
Okay. I'm just going to stroke it with my fingers very lightly like this. Now, look at the bend that's in the other key.
No, I won't take my eyes off this key.
Very good. Glad to hear you say that. Would you show it to the camera, please? Now, is it bent as much as this key or not? Yeah. Are you going to keep this key too, Barbara? On your keychain?
Next, Barbara spoke about the drawing replication trick, one of the only 5 tricks that Geller has ever been known to do. Her producer had challenged me to do it, hoping for a failure, of course. Barbara had made a drawing to test me and carefully kept it in her hot little hand right until she showed it on the set. Both Mark and Doug thought I'd go down in flames, but I had a couple of twists for them and for the audience.
Show the Uri Geller
we're going to show a tape. Okay, very good.
Can we show that? This is where he read my mind and reproduced a picture that only I had.
Okay, just a second, look at me. Visualize everything that you drew once more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show what I got, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but it really came very strong in. I'll tell you what first I thought it was and what it comes to appear now. First I thought there were 2 churches with peaks on, or 2 houses. Then it turned to a letter M, and then it could be 2 mountains with a round thing on, or 2 people.
Can I show?
Yeah, I'd like to. Am I wrong?
You're right.
I'm right. Good. That's what I got.
The letter M, if you got a letter M, it may not be because of that, but because my drawing is a drawing similar to one that my child does. It's a mother and child.
Oh, that's...
This is it.
Not 2 churches with
We have not had this
Steeples.
envelope out of our sight. Randy has in no way been close to it. The closest you've been to it, to my knowledge, is right now. Reproduce
Would you
it.
put it back in the book?
Oh, we've got a phone call. Somebody want to call in? Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on? What's going on?
I want to make sure that it is under good control.
I believe. I can't.
All right, Barbara, I'm going to ask you to concentrate on what's drawn inside
What's
there.
the point of concentrating? I know now.
Watch this, Wilson. I may surprise you.
Surprise me.
May surprise everybody. Are you concentrating on what you drew in there? I don't want you to see the end of the pen move. You may look and say, no, that doesn't look quite right.
Yes, because song begins. And I hear a violin.
It's tragic. I'm a very bad artist. You'll have to pardon me, Barbara, but all right, I've made what I believe to be an impression of it. Now, it can't be altered in any way. Would you be kind enough to open up the envelope and let's see how right I was? Oh, like Uri says, thanks God, I hope I'm right on this. That's the way he says it, you know. Well, open it up and show it to the camera, if you'd be so kind.
Where's the canvas? Here's a camera.
Is that a house?
It's a little, well, I don't draw so well. It's a little house and a sun, and here's a little person. A house, that's the house, that's the sun, and that's a little person.
Well, you'll pardon me for being a very bad artist, Barbara, but I didn't get the sun at all. I got the little person, but I got the little person inside the house and the smoke coming out to the top here. That's all we could get of it. This...
Thanks God you got it.
Thanks God I got this. Yes. Yes, we got the house.
If you're going to debunk this man, whom everybody believes, you have to tell us how you do it.
I'm going to add the sun here to make my results a little bit better. How about that, folks?
Randy.
Yes, you can't quite see the drawing that I made because it was made with a simple ballpoint pen, not a broad marker as Geller had used. I assure you it was very similar to Geller's. But notice, please, that Barbara played right into Geller's hands when she revealed her original drawing by inventing the M connection, which he'd meant to refer to the shape of the drawing. In any case, working through great difficulties, I managed to come through. Now, Barbara and I have met many times on many different programs since that event 33 years ago, and we just don't talk about this. I've never had to give her an explanation. She's satisfied that she doesn't have an explanation, and she's still confounded. But that's the way it should be. You don't explain these things to the people who experience them because they say, oh yeah, I would have thought of that. But Barbara wouldn't have thought of this at all. Some of you magicians out there, if you watch very carefully, you can see the gimmick that I used.
We thank you for watching this latest episode of James Randi Speaks. For more of James Randi and the Educational Foundation, make sure you visit randi.org.
Now, for years, Randi actually had a $1 million challenge. If you could prove something paranormal, he would pay you $1 million. Now, it actually did get paid out, but it wasn't anything paranormal. What happened was a computer was able to read somebody's mind, and it fit all the descriptions of the challenge, but it was technically reading brainwaves. It wasn't reading minds.
Our next guest worked as a magician under the name The Amazing Randi, but the world knows him for what he's achieved off stage. He's spent decades challenging people who claim they have mysterious powers. 50 years ago, James Randi offered a reward to anyone who could offer proof of the paranormal.
God damn, I'm going to get demonetized for that.
No one has claimed it. He led a chorus of skeptics against Uri Geller, the man who claimed he could bend spoons.
Had to use fucking Britney Spears under it.
Don Lane had this famous dummy spit.
We're going for a commercial break, and you can off.
This year, James Randi turned 86, and his life and career have been celebrated in the documentary An Honest Liar.
No matter how smart or well-educated you are, you can be deceived.
And James Randi joins us now live from Fort Lauderdale in the United States. James, welcome to Studio 10. Thank you for being with us. You are trained as a magician. Do you feel perhaps you're giving away secrets and maybe ruining the fun for everyone out there by challenging the paranormal?
Oh, I don't give away secrets, no. It's not secrets of the magic trade, that is the conjuring trade, because we conjurers are very honest. We say, we're fakes, we're going to fool you, and we do it. And we do it for purposes of entertainment, but not to take people's money under false pretenses, of course.
And James, can you tell us some of the common tricks that psychics use to convince people that they have supernatural powers, be it communing with the dead or be it the old spoon bending trick? What do they do? How do they trick people?
Well, it's all psychological misdirection, of course. When they say that they're talking to the dead, usually the line, and you've heard it so many times, I'm sure, the line is something like, I'm getting an M or an R. Now, what does that mean, I'm getting an M or an R? Because that could be Massachusetts, it could be Randi, for all they know. But they throw things out like this into the audience as suggestions, and somebody will hold up their hand and say, yes, and they say, my mother's name was whatever. You know, and they try to get them to identify with these things, and then they start what they call cold reading. Well, they don't call it cold reading, but we do. It's a process of extracting information from people and getting them to go along with you in the discussion. And they're very subtle at it. Some of them are very good at it. Some of them are not all that great, but they still make a lot of money.
So it's asking those leading questions. James, what about the spoon bending trick? Because that was, I believe...
Urigella's big trick.
Yeah, I think you can show us, can't you?
Yeah, I think that's one of Geller's only 4 tricks. He only has 4 tricks in his entire repertoire. Well, any singer who only has 4 songs that he or she sings would be doomed to failure. But Geller's done very well on simple 4 tricks.
Can you show us how it's done?
And the spoon bending trick...
He was charismatic, that's why.
Yes, it's done very carefully. Wink, wink. No, it's a case... If I told you the secret of it is... And this is quite honest now. The secret of it is you do it when nobody's looking.
Okay, so you have a spoon with you at the moment,
now there's
don't
the spoon breaking trick. Yes, I do. This was obtained from the kitchen here at this little station that I'm at out of the country here with a big dish behind it. And this is a, wait a minute, that's the testing board. And it's a pretty solid spoon. Would you like to see a demonstration?
Please, yes.
All right. I have a young man here who's, you're a volunteer, am I correct? Okay. Would you hold on to each end of the spoon, that's it, and hold it maybe a little, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Now I'm just going to massage it very gently here, all right?
Now stroke it.
Put your elbow down on the table, perhaps. There, you get a better grip on it. Now I'm just going to, well, first of all, let go of it for a second. I want to, you can't see me hammering it on the table, but I am doing that. Okay, hold it again, please, and hold it up. There we go. Now I'm just going to stroke it gently like this, and I'm going to wiggle it back and forth. Okay? Just wiggle it back and forth like that. Now, it doesn't seem to be doing much, but watch carefully now. Watch carefully. Oh, look! It's actually getting look, it's getting flexible. Look at that. It actually gets flexible. It sort of turns rubbery. Isn't that the strangest thing? Look. Oh, look.
So how are you doing that?
Look, it's getting completely flexible. Doing it very well, I think. And it flies into 2 pieces.
Wow.
A miracle of a semi-religious nature.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Now, this is a rather simple trick that kids can do, too. I can teach any kid to do this inside of, half an hour or so. It's not all that difficult to do. But Mr. Geller has built his whole career on a simple trick like bending spoons. What the advantage is in bending a spoon, you can't use it then. You see, the food all falls in your lap. So it's very awkward. I don't know how he ever came up with such a silly trick, but he did, and he's done very well with it over the years, I must admit.
So, James, clearly that is a trick, and you've sort of debunked that sort of some sort of spiritual power that make people bend spoons. Do you believe that There are mediums out there, though, genuine people who have an ability to connect with the other side. I mean, there are plenty of people who believe in that. Do you believe in a higher power?
Well, here comes Maynard.
I don't, and the reason is that I'm 86 years of age. I've been in this since I was about 12 or 13 years of age, and in all that time, I have been searching for something like that. As a matter of fact, the James Randi Educational Foundation, which I represent, offers a $1 million, that's U.S., $1 million prize to any so-called psychic or sensitive of any kind who can actually prove that they have these powers. Now, that offer's been out for many years now, and you would think that outside this building here, there would be a lineup of people all waiting to try to make the $1 million, because so many people claim they've got these powers. I don't see anybody outside. The parking lot is empty.
Well, James, is that why you've agreed to make the documentary? Are you still looking for people to come forward, or are you just wanting to debunk all of the theories that are trotted out before the public?
Now, first,
he's doing the Lord's work, what he's doing.
The term debunk. To debunk means that you go into something, say, this is not so, and I'm going to prove to you that it's not so. I don't go into it that way, because the scientific way, the rational way would be to go into it, as I do, saying, I don't know, but let's find out. Let's design some tests of these so-called powers and find out whether they do have anything behind them. Well, that's what I do.
It has been fascinating talking with you. James Randi, thank you very much for joining us here at Studio 10.
Let's see if I can find the video about him paying that out. This is like the whole...
All right. This brings us to, I think, the most exciting part of this morning
buddy.
here.
I can't see.
Now I'm very pleased to introduce two fascinating people. James Randi, who is a former magician and now a professional skeptic, and Media Lab alumnus Seth Raphael.
An opportunity to try for the $1 million prize. So I'll turn it over to him, and may the best man win, or something like that. I think that's the expression that you give. Seth, would you take over at this point? Make sure you're plugged in. There, you're plugged in, and away we go.
Hello, yes, I am Seth Raphael, and I am going to attempt to show you, Randy, that in fact there is something worth $1 million out there. I'm going to put the mic on properly in just a second. We're going to first scan me for wireless devices to make sure that there's no hidden devices on me in just a moment. So I'm going to come over here.
How do I know we can trust this man here? Okay.
Stand up here.
It's the floor.
It's the floor. So you have agreed that this, if I meet all these three claims, this will be sufficient to...
Yeah, what was the three claims?
Challenge.
I believe...
Claiming three main options. For the first one is that my computer can read a person's mind. I'm not saying that this computer right here can tell what you're thinking there, but I'm saying with the appropriate technology, for example, the bracelets that people are wearing out there, a computer can begin to sense what a human is thinking, and that I have developed my computer and technology to a point where it can read people's minds consistently. Secondly, I can read the contents of the memory of my computer without the aid of any device, using only my mind. So if my computer is closed, I can read the contents of the memory of my computer. I can read the contents of memory cards from cameras by holding them to my head.
That is if the top is down, so you can't see the screen.
If it's entirely closed, the computer can even be off, because
Understood.
the contents of memory is retained for a short time. And lastly, that I can read a person's mind using my computer as an intermediary, given the sufficient devices in the middle. So you have agreed that this, if I meet all these three claims, this will be sufficient for the $1 million challenge.
I believe so, yes.
All right. Let's see.
How nervous is that motherfucker right
all three
then?
phenomena to your satisfaction according to our mutually agreed upon testing methods. So now we are going to need somebody who is wearing a sensor. Who has
I should get to choose that person, don't you think?
I guess
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Have a showing of hands of those who are wearing them. Now, this is not showing your hand. This is showing your hand, okay? There you go. Much better. I am going to take the closest person to the stage because I think that's a reasonably random way of doing it. I don't... Okay, this gentleman right here is the nearest one. We'll use him then.
All right. We want to keep it totally fair.
Yes, he does.
Reasonably.
You got to have controls in a scientific experiment.
All right, you've got a sensor? You've got it. All right, go ahead, have a seat, please. You've got 32 new messages.
He's a jokester, eh?
Okay, I need to check to see what sensor number you have. Do you know what number you have?
I don't know.
Okay, we're just gonna check. We want to. Okay, what's your name?
Dominic.
Dominic. Do you have Dominic's number? Which number is it? Number 24. We're going to enter your number here. Once we begin the test, I will not touch the computer for fear that I may be interfering in some way. But to set it up, we're going to enter your sensor number. You sure you're getting sensor 24 back there?
Tech gremlins.
Oh, okay. We've got it. We've got it. Excellent. All right, Dominique. We have a bunch of cards here. They're going to scan across the screen in just a moment, and it's going to be reading the senses, your skin conductance from this bracelet.
Excuse me, a number of cards here. How many cards? Is this a full deck?
There's a full deck on the screen and a full deck here, yes.
Oh, all right.
Indeed. It's rather big so that everyone in the audience can see everything that's going on. Would you like to look at them?
This is like the test from the Ghostbusters, isn't it?
Afterwards, if I have to.
All right. Okay, Dominic, you're going to spread them across the table, just very beautifully, just like that. And I'm not going to watch because I don't want to be accused of reading marked cards.
Let's cut the deck, though. He did see the bottom card. Everyone saw the bottom card on the pack. Would you just take half of them and just cut them and then spread them, please?
Fucking love Randy.
Okay.
I didn't say cut 3 times, but that's close enough. Go ahead.
Okay, now spread them out, please. Yes. And please reach out and touch any card you want at random. Just touch it with your finger. And slide it out so that you can see the identity. Make sure you've got just one. Look at it. Do you see what it is? Don't show it to anyone. Put it on the table next to the deck so that we can verify at the end. All right? I will not turn around. Are you ready? Now you're going to click the button that should say scan on screen. Please go ahead and click that and watch the cards carefully on the screen the whole time. Are they scanning?
This is the first time I've watched this. I knew that a guy claimed it. I didn't know how he did it.
They've scanned once.
I'm fascinated by this.
They'll go through the deck several times
right.
until it gets a strong enough signal to make a determination.
So I'm not even sure what's going on. Is the program scanning to try to come up with what's in the dude's mind that's sitting at the table behind the laptop?
Are they still scanning? Okay.
And the dude that came up with the program is over there like, he has to have butterflies all in his stomach. Like, please work, please work, please work.
Are you still scanning? Does it show a card? It should pop up a new one.
In case, in turning around, you're able to see the back of the card, which may have markings.
Excuse me. Randy, will you please look at the card?
I've seen it, yes.
Will you show it to the audience and determine if it is a match? Thank you.
All right. And what is next?
So you will agree that we have established the first condition?
Yes, that is quite satisfactory, yes.
All right.
It's easy for you to laugh from moving right along.
Moving right along. Next, we are going to attempt something different. That was the computer just telling what you're thinking. Now we're going to demonstrate my ability to read the contents of the memory of the computer. We're not going to do this through means like looking at the screen. We're going to unplug you so that I can't watch the monitor or anything to see what you're looking at. We're going to go to Flickr. And you're going to search Flickr for an image. That way it's not an image that's already on my computer. It could be any number of millions of images that are on the internet. So for example, if we search for something like bird, you familiar with Flickr?
I am.
You can...
What if I wanted to use Photo Bucket,
find pictures of
motherfucker?
birds. You can scroll through and find the picture that you like. And click on it, make it large.
Is Photo Bucket even still a thing?
An image. Then once you've selected it, you're going to close the laptop so that it's off. You're not going to think about it, although I'm not claiming I'm able to read your mind. I'm going to read the memory of the computer. All right, take you back to the search page and get rid of that. And we're going to take you offline. We're going to do this right here. And go ahead, I'm going to try to recreate the image that you are going to find. So go ahead and start searching until you find an image that's satisfactory to you.
Anything.
Excuse me.
Search for anything.
You can search for anything, but try and keep it appropriate for this audience.
So I was about to say, Flickr, you can use X-rated pictures.
He looks the way I was operating my computer on JetBlue yesterday.
You're going to show it, and then we'll open up the laptop?
Yes, you can do that.
That's the image I'm getting.
Let's show that to the audience. It's a bird in a tree, I think. No, I guess not.
What?
Looks like two globes of the Earth or something, I would say, roughly speaking.
Two spherical things with latitude and longitudinal lines drawn upon them. Let's see if we can get...
Oh, wow.
Hallelujah.
Well, I mean, I know he got the $1 million, so I shouldn't have been surprised, right?
Dominic.
Damn.
All right, number 3.
So you agree that that suffices?
I agree that that's impressive, yes.
All right, lastly, we have number 3. And you have very specific instructions on this. You have drawn a geometric shape on a piece of paper, and you have it in a sealed envelope.
That's correct.
So I'm not claiming
this old
read
trick.
your mind to know what's the contents of that envelope. So I need my computer to read your mind.
All right.
So I'm going to ask you to please sit here. You're not wearing a bracelet, right? You don't have one of those?
No, I do not have a bracelet. No,
Okay.
just a cheap wristwatch.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna load. Let's see. So what is required is that you must hold the contents of the image. No, you don't need to bring out the envelope. Just hold the image in your mind.
All right.
And this is a device that was developed by Bo, who's at the Media Lab. This is a... It's very similar to an EEG.
Oh, I think I know that girl.
All right, let me turn it on here.
You don't have any ugly hair to get in the way.
We could both wear it. Yeah. So what this is it has an
Looked like it had a Wi-Fi router attached to it.
And
I guess it does.
LEDs, and what it does is it measures the heat in your brain. So it measures blood flow to areas of your brain. This is a real device. This is being used by scientists in labs across the country, and it uses to measure topical heat of blood flow to the brain. This one is designed. You want to take a look at it?
These are sensors, temperature sensors?
They measure reflected light. So there's each...
I'll overload it.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
God damn, he's witty.
Okay, so I'm
Or
gonna
was
place this on
witty.
your head now.
It may be the wrong size. Oh no, it's not too bad at all.
It's a little heavy in the back.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to hold it up there. With
Okay.
You. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to connect to it with my laptop. And my laptop is going to be streaming the raw content dump from the transceiver.
EKG?
And I will be allowed to look at that.
One of those machines.
Yes.
And from that, I will attempt to deduce what geometric shape you have.
Are you talking about the
in this envelope?
The computer scientist that came up with the program? I think he's got.
So that I can't substitute the envelope, I should bring the envelope out now.
The video's kind of grainy, which weird from a couple of years ago, but I think that's hair on his head.
You okay?
I think he shaved his head into weird. I'm not exactly sure. It looks like hair. I thought he had something, but he could have something hooked up to him. As well. That might not be a tuft of hair on the side of his head.
That's what I usually see when my internet opens up.
I need you to please focus on the geometric shape.
Very well.
I'm thinking it is something like that. Because you haven't seen it from this side, it looks like it's some kind of Band-Aid or something that's affixed to his head. I had wondered the same thing myself.
It's just one shape?
Yes, one shape, yes.
God, you don't think he's had something drilled into his head, do you? Like some sort of implant? Yeah, I'm not sure it's on his forehead. I think it might be in his head.
Okay, I'm not going to show it to you. I'm not certain. I would like to leave it here on the table until you've shown yours, and then I'll let you pick it up. Is that fair?
Yes, I'll have to keep my head down so that I don't lose
we're done.
We're done with that, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm moving the envelope embedded in my chest. I have in here a piece of paper which has my secret drawing on it. Those of you up close here can see what it is. Two more or less equilateral triangles, point to point. In other words, it's an X with the ends of the top and the bottom of the X closed off, consisting of 4 lines, essentially.
Okay, now please open up the image I received.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, Randy, Randy, I am in full support of the James Randi Educational Foundation, and I do not intend to actually take the $1 million.
Well, I must say that I would insist that this be completed as per our agreement. I have not yet signed this check. I will do that.
Oh, wow. You got the check there.
This is a check for $10,000, which is a token. Pardon?
Not $1 million?
No. Not at the moment. But this check, according to the agreement that's published on our webpage, this is the agreement that I will pay over this amount of money immediately as a token of the fact that within 48 hours, the rest of the prize money will be forthcoming. There you are, Seth.
So, yeah. I encourage you, go YouTube, watch hours and hours of James Randi. Fascinating man. Watch the documentary, An Honest Liar. We lost a good one. So this one's for you, Randy. Rest in peace.